Hello and welcome to another manga spotlight. This is Doron Dororon. And yeah, I'm just going to call it Doron from here on out because trying to say the whole thing is a tongue twister. This is a weekly Shonen Jump series. It is not a brand new series, but a fairly new series. It came out in late November of last year. But yeah, this is by Jin Osuka, and basic premise is humans are under threat from mysterious monsters called Mononoke. Dora Sasaki is unbeatable in a fight. In order to keep her promise to his deceased mother, he aspires to be an anti-mononoke samurai. However, everything changes when he meets a kind-hearted Mononoke named Kusanagi. Welcome to this dark fantasy story of humans and monsters. I kind of take a little bit of issue with the dark fantasy genre being thrown out there. This isn't a dark fantasy. Like when I think dark fantasy, I think fantasy with a lot of horror elements and with like a dark and gloomy kind of tone. This series isn't really like that. It does have fantasy elements in the sense that there are demons, and here they're called Mononoke. But other than that, like it's not really dark or gloomy. In fact, most of the chapters are kind of, I don't want to say lighthearted, but I mean it's weekly Shonen Jump. It's there's a lot of comedy and stuff in here. But yeah, just so people know, this actually takes place in a modern day setting. I know like the word fantasy and the word samurai, you're thinking, oh, this is going to be like Demon Slayer in the sense. It's going to be like, feudal Japan. It's like, no, this takes place in a modern day setting. Picture basically like Bleach or something like that. And yeah, as it says, we have our main character. His name is Dora. And Dora absolutely despises Mononoke. And basically, Mononoke appeared in this world about 50 years ago. They're strange monsters. They're basically demons that attack humans. And in the past year, they have killed a total of 4,049 people nationwide. In large cities, one attack occurs every 3 days on average. I would have to say that that's probably being generous because according to this, I mean, there's like basically an attack or two every chapter. And every chapter is like a day or so. But yeah, Dora absolutely despises Mononoke, and the reason for that is because his mom was killed by one. His dad was, I think, a police officer, judging by a photo that we see of him. But he died in the line of duty. We don't know how. I don't know if it was a Mononoke or something. But Dora, all his life, he wanted to be a samurai. And the samurai here are basically anti-Mononoke. So they're pretty much people who have swords. At least I'm assuming swords. We only really see one. Well, we see a couple samurai, and they all use swords. So I'm assuming they're like anti-demon swords or anti-Mononoke swords. Yeah, they basically are the police force that stop Mononoke. They go around, they hunt Mononoke, and keep the place safe by killing them off. And Dora always wanted to be one. And the reason why is because as a child, he gets into a lot of fights. He causes a lot of trouble. He's one of those kids that he's not the smartest, which just seems to be a trope that Weekly Shonen Jump seems to love, where we have main characters who are not that bright. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just a shonen thing or if it's a Weekly Shonen Jump thing or what. But yeah, our main character is basically a shonen character. Typical Shonen Jump protagonist. Kind of dumb. This one's constantly getting into fights. Doesn't really have a lot of prospects in life. And one day he sees, he's watching the news and he sees that samurais have, saved this village or whatever. And Dora basically says, like, I'm not good at school. I'll probably never graduate. The only thing I'm good at is fighting. Maybe I should fight Mononoke. And his mom like jumps on that. She's like, that's a great idea. It's perfect for you. And he's like, really? And she's like, yeah, like, you've always been a real troublemaker. But as a samurai, you could protect people. But I still want you to graduate high school. And he says, like, she looked really happy when I said I wanted to be a samurai. Even in the past, he remembers like when his dad died, his mom was really sad. And he wanted to kind of live up to what his dad envisioned by basically being someone who fights off bad guys and makes the world a better place. So Dora goes in to do a entrance exam to try to become a samurai. And they take his blood and he fails immediately. And, Dora's like pissed off, like, how the hell can I fail? Like, all you do is take my blood. And basically, he says that this kit, where we draw your blood, we mix it with a special compound. It measures your potential spiritual energy. And Mononoke can only be defeated with an attack imbued with supernatural energy. And you need to have a certain level to be able to just, be invited into becoming a samurai. Just as a prerequisite to become a samurai, you need to have a certain level. You have nothing. Like, your level is 0. You'll never be able to become a samurai. So he gets pissed off. He leaves. And as he's walking home, trying to wonder, what the hell he's going to do with his life. Because he's like, well, I'll train. I'll come back. I'll take the test again. He's like, no, you can only take the test once. Like, there's nothing you can do to raise your spiritual level. Like, either you're born with it or you're not. So he's trying to figure out what the hell he's going to do with his life now that his dream has basically been crushed, when he hears a scream. And there's a little girl being chased by a Mononoke in this clock tower, this abandoned clock tower. So he rushes in. He sees the girl. She says, there's a Mononoke up there. You got to help my rescuer. There was someone up there who helped me out and bought me time to run down here. He's like, all right, you get out of the tower. I'll go up and I'll go see if I can help him out. So he rushes out and he sees 2 Mononoke fighting each other. And that's when he discovers that this little tiny Mononoke is actually a good guy. He's different from all the other Mononokes. He doesn't want to hurt humans. He wants to protect them. And so Dora, when he realizes that this Mononoke helped out the little girl, he decides, all right, you know what? Even though I hate Mononoke, you risked your life to, buy the girl some time. So the least I can do is help you out this one time. So he grabs a Mononoke. He tries to rush out the tower. The Mononoke that's attacking them, it's like this 8 Mononoke, hits them, launches them out of the tower. They crash to the floor below. Turns out that the tiny Mononoke, the good one, can transform into different, it can shapeshift. And it shapeshift into a mattress to kind of cushion Dora's fall. And that's when the Mononoke says that it wants to make a world a kind place where nobody ever gets hurt. He hates bad guys. He doesn't care if they're Mononoke or human. He wants to stop all the bad things so that people can have a good life, so that no one will ever get hurt again. And this triggers a flashback in Dora where he remembers his dream was the same. He's like, oh man, I'm sharing the same goal as this guy. And he decides, you know what? Why don't we help each other out? Because this 8 Mononoke rushes out of the clock tower and is going towards a school with a bunch of little kids, and it plans on eating all of them. And Dora realizes, I can't fight this thing on my own. This little guy, he can't take on this thing on his own. But maybe if we work together, we can stop this thing. So he makes a partnership with this little Mononoke. And the little Mononoke is named Kusanagi. And so together, they go and they fight this ape creature. And Kusanagi is able to shapeshift into a sword. And Dora is able to wield it and swing it enough to lop off the hands of this ape Mononoke before it can eat these kids. And then he deals a death blow to it and kills it. And Dora, he thanks the Kusanagi and says, you did a great job today. And the Kusanagi is like, no, we did a great job. Even though I can transform into this sword, I wouldn't have had enough power to slice it. But with you wielding me, we were able to stop this. So let's form this partnership. And Dora's like, you know what? Fine. If I can't become a official samurai, I'm going to become an unofficial samurai. I'm going to be the leek samurai. And the leek is from the plant, the leek plant. And it's because as a child, he would dream of being a samurai, and he would wield a leek as a sword, and his mom would call him her little leek samurai. So that's where this partnership is formed. And then later on, we get introduced to another main character. Her name is Ginchiyo. She is a samurai. She is a samurai for the Izanagi force, and she is the best samurai on this force. We see a board of all the samurais and their accomplishments, and hers is so long that it extends past the board. Her dream is that no one will ever die in her territory again. Everyone has their designated area that they're supposed to, protect. And she doesn't want anyone to ever die in her area again because it will affect her future promotions. So that's all she wants. We don't really know why. I think we get a brief flashback shot of a male figure. We think maybe it could be like her dad or her brother, and maybe she needs to get enough promotions to, I don't know, maybe track him down, or maybe she wants to, maybe this male figure, had a high promotion and she wants to live up to, their expectations. We don't know. All we know is she's really good at her job and she really wants to get future promotions and just really climb up the ranks of being a samurai. And she hears word about Dora and Kusanagi, and she tracks him down, finds out their location, and discovers that he's working with a mononoke. She attacks him at first, and they're able to kind of hold her off, and they're about to make their escape when she's like, all right, you guys pass. And they're confused at first. She's like, I wanted to test you. I wanted to see if you were really good enough to be my partners. And they're kind of confused. Like, what the hell are you talking about? And she's like, I am just one person. I need help making sure that no one in my area gets killed. So I'm willing to pay you guys to work with me. You can't officially be samurai because you don't have the spiritual power. Also, you're working with the mononoke, which we got to kind of keep silent because that's a big no-no. But you can work with me on an unofficial capacity, and I will pay you for helping me. So Dora's like, all right, sounds good. Like we get money, and we also get to, do what we want. We have the same goals. We want to keep this place safe. Of course, we want to keep it safe for different reasons. It's kind of funny because at the end of the chapter, they're like, all right, we'll keep this place safe. We'll work together. Ginchiyo's like, show me what you've got for my advancement. And Dora's like, for my rent, because she's paying his rent. And Kusanagi is like, we're going to make the world a nice, happy place. So it's just kind of funny how the monster is actually the one that's doing it to protect the people, while Dora's kind of, like, sure, I'll join you so that, you can pay my rent and, pay me for food and stuff. And Genichiyo's doing it so that she can advance up the ranks. But yeah, that's basically what this series is. It's Dora, his pet partner, Mononoke Kusanagi, who can shapeshift into different weapons. And they team up with a samurai named Gichiyo to fight demons called Mononoke. Some people have described it as kind of like a mix of My Hero Academia with Jujutsu Kaisen. I can see maybe a little bit of that. I mean, the My Hero Academia is very minimal. It's more of this character always wanted to be this thing, but realizes he doesn't have the power to be it, but then finds a loophole to be able to be this thing. Like in My Hero Academia, Deku wants to be a hero. He can't because he doesn't have a quirk, but then he's able to get a quirk kind of through like a loophole in a way, and so he trains to become a hero. And this one, Dora wants to be a samurai, doesn't have the blood spiritual powers to become one, finds a Mononoke, so he finds the loophole to kind of become a quasi samurai. So I can kind of see that. I guess Jujutsu Kaisen in the sense that they're fighting demons and things. I'll say it's been good so far. A little bit cliche. I mean, it's what you expect from a weekly Shonen Jump. But I like this main character so far. He's not like some of the other weekly Shonen Jump series I've tried to get into, but I just couldn't because the main character is either constantly yelling, is stupid to the point of retardation, or constantly crying. Dora doesn't seem like that kind of character. I mean, he's not like super intelligent, but he's intelligent enough that he was able to graduate high school. Like he was able to fulfill that promise to his mom. But he's not going to become like some mathematician or scientist or anything like that. He's not like super brainy, but he's not a full retard. He's also like, other than maybe, when he was a child, obviously, and he saw his mom died, he cried. But other than that, like there's only one moment where he, we see him with tears in his eyes. And that's when he's confronting his mother's killer, which is a Mononoke. But other than that, he's not a crybaby. He's not someone constantly talking about, like, the power of friendship and stuff like that. He's just someone who's really good at fighting. And he wants to kind of make the world a better place just because he wants to live up to his dead mom's expectations of him. So I like that. I like that this character has goals other than just, I want to make the world a better place just because, or the power of friendship will beat anything, or a character who's just constantly crying, or a character who, like I said, is just really, really stupid. I hate that. I don't know why. It's one thing if you have a naive character, but it's like every Shonen Jump character has to just be almost completely retarded. And I really don't know, like, is that really something that Japanese, like the target audience for Shonen Jump, like, do they really love their characters to be like that stupid? Or is it just like one good series had a stupid character and now everyone's trying to copy that? I wish I knew. But yeah, Doron, good series so far. Again, doesn't really do anything new, but it's still entertaining. Like, I still like it. It's pretty cliche at the moment, but it's entertaining. Like, I'm enjoying reading it. It's fun. The main character is, you know, I like the main character. Even Genshio is not annoying, because usually that's another thing that, you know, I'm always kind of like, you get a main character who gets partnered up with a female character who always like browbeats them, or, you know, physically beats them, verbally beats them, is constantly better than them at everything. And that's not really here. Like, they actually seem to work well together. There are points where, I'm not going to spoil everything, but there's like a moment where she's not able to finish off a Mononoke and Dora has to help her out. So it's not like she's constantly, you know, one-upping him. So that's good to see. Like, characters who are actually partners and equals to each other, rather than just one being, you know, so much greater than the other. And then I also like the relationship between Dora and Kusanagi. Like, their friendship is pretty funny. Kusanagi is actually the one that fits the shonen main character trope of constantly crying. Like, Kusanagi is someone that he's very emotional, which is kind of funny for a Mononoke. But yeah, like, anytime like Dora like praises him, he has like tears in his eyes and he's super happy. So he's kind of like adorable in that way. But yeah, good story. Again, somewhat cliche and things, but it's Shonen Jump. Pretty much every Shonen Jump series is kind of cliche. It usually takes a while for series to kind of find its own theme and its own identity. At least that's the way it seems to me. Like, every Shonen Jump I've seen, like, it starts off like, oh, this is kind of just the same as like every other Shonen Jump I've seen. Maybe the setting is different or whatever. Maybe it's different villains, but there's a lot of cliches and tropes that are just similar to each other. And it usually takes a while, like, you know, a few chapters down the line before they start finding their own identity and start becoming, you know, being able to differentiate themselves from other series. So I'm hoping that's what's going to happen with Doron. I'm hoping that Doron is eventually going to find its own identity and not be so similar to like all the other stuff that came before it. Even with that said, it's still a fun, entertaining series. It's well drawn for the most part. Like, I like it. I think the action scenes are good and stuff. Like, I mean, there's better things out there, but this isn't like terribly drawn or anything like that. Like, it's good for what it is. So yeah, check it out. Check out Doron if you haven't already. It's good. I'm hoping it doesn't get axed. I don't know how popular it is, but I'm hoping it gets a chance to really like start developing itself and, like I said, get its own identity and starts branching off from the other similar shonen series that you can kind of easily see it's inspired by. There you go. Check out Doron. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys got any recommendations for anime, manga, stuff like that, let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope to see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.